Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from Strata Hadoop World in New York City. I'm here with Chris Sellen. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike.
So you're with HP.
I am.
And what do you do there?
So I run business development, which means partnerships and alliances for our big data group.
Okay, and so is New York a really ripe area for biz dev for data?
Well, first of all, the show is a great place for business development because all of our partners are here. I mean, we're making a big investment in our partner ecosystem and, working as broadly as possible. And of course, we have a lot of enterprise customers here as well. So the East Coast tends to be obviously, banking, insurance, telecommunications, these big sort of traditional enterprise industries.
Retail.
So retail,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of those customers are here as well.
Excellent. So what are you guys doing at HP? What's on your radar as far as innovation and what you guys are up to?
Well, we're innovating across our portfolio. I'm part of the software group. As you probably know, HP is in the process of separating into two companies over the next 30 days. That's probably the biggest news coming out of HP, and there's a lot of work going on internally.
So what are those two groups going to be? The software and services and...
The two groups are formally called HP Inc., INC, which is basically what is today the personal systems businesses, which is laptops, computers, desktops, and printers. So it's really all of that. But there are certain assets and software and such that are going to be a part of that. And then there's Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, or HPE for short, which is the part of the business that our team and the big data focus is going to be, which is, big iron, servers, storage arrays, cloud, software, and services as well, focused on those enterprise customers and enterprise needs. So HPE is and it's interesting because it's almost exactly in half if you look at the size of the organizations. They're both going to be Fortune 50 companies, but that's going on. And in HPE, in the soon-to-be Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, and we're already operating, even though we're not formally separated, we're operating as separate businesses today. We are bringing those together and innovating from a big data perspective, to your earlier question, across the entire portfolio, from software to converged systems, in and across hardware, storage, cloud, and of course our services group as well. And it's really about what HP's always been around for the 75 plus years of HP's existence, doing the right thing for the customer, which is also why our partner ecosystem is so important.
So this split to Inc. and E is going to help you guys have more focus on the enterprise?
That's exactly the case, yes.
And so data in the enterprise is what you guys are doing.
Yes.
And what do you see as some of the innovations coming in the next few months from you guys?
There's what we're calling 4 transformation areas that are going to kind of form the new HPE. And first of all, it's very much about really starting to focus on the business needs. A big data strategy is not just about building a data lake or Hadoop anymore. It's really about what business problems am I solving, whether it's being closer to my customer, understanding, my supply chains or my demand chains, or, the ecosystem that I'm in, preventing fraud, or, doing financial analysis. It's all of those different business use cases. And of course, technology is a tool that you apply to that. And across all of those areas, data, volumes, velocity, variety are all growing. But the ability to sort of take the technology and apply it to the problems in a customer-friendly way that solves problems and creates value. That's really what we're aiming to do.
That sounds excellent, because I think one of the big things in the data world, we've always been theory. We've talked about the platforms, the lakes, the whole strategy thing. And I think we've been at a point where solutions are now starting to happen more and more. So your group listens to your customer, your partner requirements, and then translates that into data solutions for them?
And business value, exactly. I mean, to quote a great book from the 90s, I think we're at a crossing the chasm moment with big data, where it's moving. I mean, what we've seen over the last few years is these early adopter customers who've seen this cool technology and figured out cool, innovative use cases for it, and so now we've proven the ground in all of these next generation data-driven businesses, whether it's Facebook or Uber or Google or Amazon, that have kind of created entire new business models or industries or reinvented or disrupted. The term disruption gets thrown around so much these days, but there has been a tremendous amount of disruption over the past 10, 20 years. But now what's happening is the traditional enterprises are saying, first of all, we have to react. In many cases, we're forced to. But second of all, there's opportunity out there, and I need to figure out how to harness this technology and create value for our business and, of course, for their customers.
Yeah, so. I kind of wondered when Uber came on the scene, you know, and everyone was just, you know, using Uber, and the taxis all cried foul and complained.
Yep.
Why didn't they fight this with data? I mean, why couldn't they turn their ship around? I mean, is that a problem with some, you know, when we talk about disruption or we talk about industry verticals, are there some verticals that are just too slow to change?
Well, I think it's interesting because I've actually been in both taxis and Ubers here in New York since I've arrived.
Same, exactly.
And if you look on the back of the taxis now, you'll see there's apps, right?
Arrow.
You can download to call a cab.
It works fine.
So on and so forth. So there is absolutely a reaction going on in the taxi industry, and I think, you know, there's a recognition that we need to change our ways. And look, for me as a rider, it's all good, right? And for you as a rider too.
Yeah.
It's a better experience for
Seamless.
us. Makes more us apt to think, you know, I should take a cab as opposed to taking a subway or having to bring it. I mean, I'm in Boston, so I'm close enough I could conceivably drive to New York, but these days I never would, right? So, I mean, I have so many ways to get around that are so much easier and more convenient. I don't have to look for parking in the city. So, but now I've got options, and options are better for me as a customer, and it creates value for, you know, creates value for me, creates value for you, but it really creates value for the entire business ecosystem here. So it creates disruption, but it creates new value.
As a biz dev person, for all the customers and industries that you see, which one do you think is slowest to react, or are there any industry verticals that are still hesitant about the impact data can have on their... is there anyone left?
Slowest, I mean, it's having different reactions at different speeds across different industries. I mean, certainly industries like retail have had to react very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, public sector generally tends to move slowly, but public sector is absolutely moving these days. You know, that's sort of the first one that maybe comes to mind. And when you look across financial services, like the insurance industry, I would say there's still... things are maybe moving a little slower than some other sectors than, say, retail banking. You know, you've got commercial banking. So you can look at different sectors of different industries, but I think everybody's kind of getting hit at different rates and moving at different rates. It's really driven by the customers and by competition and customers' expectations. Although, you know, customers' expectations cross industries as well, right? Because now it's like, you know, I was thinking as I was standing in a long Starbucks line this morning, and I'm a big fan of Starbucks, but why can't I have Uber for Starbucks? Where I sort of, you know, order ahead on my phone, tell them what I want. I've already got the app, and
sitting there
just have it waiting for me instead of standing in that 20-minute line. So at the same time, my alternatives had longer lines, so right? But at some point, if somebody comes out with that, it's going to become real popular. So,
Well, great. This has been a great conversation. Look
Likewise,
forward to San Jose.
Really enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in San Jose. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.